And dude, guess what? Kevin, we did it. It's 7 o'clock. It's Real Talk with Kevin Brock at 7 o'clock. And guess what? I think we're live.
We're right on the money. How about that? Hey, welcome, Stony Stone. We appreciate you this evening. Welcome, everybody, to the show. We're glad to be here. I'm Kevin Brock with fishkevinbrock.com, and we are ready to talk some real talk and hang out tonight. Last week was a ton of fun. We appreciate all the guests we had on. We'll have more tonight, and let's just jump in here and get started. We're just glad that the whole operation here is working. So thank you, Stony, for that. Thank you, Eric, for that. And technology, we're rocking.
We are on it. So, how was your week? Tell me about
my
your
week
week.
my week was fantastic. We're just gonna cover one day at a time. What we've got coming up for the show this evening, we've got we're gonna talk a little bit about what's hot, what's not. Some of this lake fishing is busting wide open, and we'll tell you hows and wheres and a few of those kind of things that we're seeing. Steelhead fishing is still going strong on the Feather River. It's October 30th, so we've got one last day of salmon fishing on the Mokelumne and it may go longer on the Mokelumne. Hold on that one. But on the Feather River, on the American, we got one last day for tomorrow to salmon fish. We're going to talk a little bit about that, what's going on, what's happened, projections for next year. We love your input. We'll go over all that. We're going to talk about what we did this week, what you did this week, Stony, some fish. We're going to talk about some of this, what you've been seeing lately on Facebook and AI and stuff like that. We're going to touch base on that a little ways through there. So we've got, a whole bunch of stuff, all to pack in just a little tin can. We're going to have some pizza delivered here pretty soon for my cool nephew and niece. And I'm stoked about that because it's Round Table. If you know that Round Table is the last honest pizza, there you go. So kick them out, get them to be a little sponsor on that. So anyway, well, let's get started with this week. Starting last Friday, a week ago. What did we do? We steelhead fished.
Yeah.
We fished the lake. We fished Lake Oroville. And some of the guys have been starting to catch a lot, and I mean a lot of big fish in the lakes right now. You did some catfish fishing, and a lot of people are out there fishing around a lot right now. So let's just kind of jump in there. Some of the upper lakes. Let's talk about those right now. I know Berryessa is still going good. Eagle Lake right now up in the Susanville area is fantastic. I talked with Big Daddy, and I know a couple of the other guys that are going up there. They're using our rods up there. Some of the ones we designed for trolling for trout, the 5S's, and they're absolutely just loving them. So that's really cool. They're trolling a lot on Eagle. Eagle's been red hot. Almanor is still very good, but it's getting cold. We are at the season turning. It's almost Halloween. Stoney, what do you think about that already, huh?
Dude, this year has just flown by. It's been crazy.
This has been one of the craziest years I can remember in a while, and I probably won't remember it because it's been such a roller coaster. But things that we've done, things that from having a podcast just on Facebook to going live now to having thousands of people watch it, having inspiration from lots of people, being able to talk about cool stuff, fishing stuff. And that's what's cool to us is the fishing stuff and how it affects people and how it relates to people. It's all been good. So we'll talk about what's going on in some of the local tackle stores and what you can think. The Delta, oh my goodness, the Delta is starting to kick off for stripers too. We'll touch base on that a little bit. But, the Upper Lakes, Eagle, Almanor, man, there's some of the fishing on Oroville's been okay, but it's kind of dying off. I think Warren went out the other day, and they only got a few fish. So some of the guys have been great. We went over there later on this afternoon. The spotted bass fishing is still fantastic. But remember, the temperatures are changing. It's getting colder. So you got to slow down your presentation. You've got to fish slower, slowing down the presentation. You've got to fish smaller baits, scents, light line, sharp hooks, deeper water points, main body points are your key there. And you can catch a lot of fish right now. They're not as aggressive. When you find one, you're going to find a bunch. And I mean a bunch. So when you find one, stick on them for a little bit. Watch your electronics. Look for that bait. Head out. If you're a bass fisher, Shasta. Talk to the guys over on Shasta, still wide open. Trinity steelhead fishing is really good. Justin Thompson, my buddy over there, is fishing the Trinity River, catching some beautiful steelhead this year. So that's been fantastic. The Smith River opened up. Well, it's been open, but that's this last rain. There was a little window up there. My buddies up there went up there and just crushed the kings for like 2 days. It was just wide open, big kings, big bright kings. But the water's already dropping down. Watch for that next rain on that one. That'll be next week. But that's what happened, 2 days ago? On the Smith River in California, there was hundreds of fish caught, 25 to 35 pounds. All the guys that went over there just whacked them. They were pulling quick fish, mainly. A few guys were bouncing roe. Some of the guys were throwing little Cleos off the bank. But my goodness, watch the water flows. They already dropped out, but when they bounce back up, it'll be ready to roll again. So that Smith River up there, Chetco River, that coastal steelhead salmon fishery is just getting going, and it'll fish good this year. It'll fish real good this year. Have you ever been up there to that Chetco Smith River, Stoney?
No, I have not. And real quick, Kevin, there's going to be comments on here. I got some stuff that I do see people's comments that are watching. I will get to them at the appropriate time, but we are going to get there. So go ahead. No, I have not, Kevin.
Gotcha. The coastal steelhead and salmon, probably not steelhead as much, except for on the Trinity. Trinity is real good, and they're getting lots of nice steelhead over there. The Feather River, the steelhead fishing is going really good. But, okay. The difference between a valley steelhead and a coastal steelhead. Okay, and here's the difference. Okay, it's the truth. A lot of our steelhead that we're catching on the Feather River right now are 16 to 20 inches, 22 inches. It's a large rainbow trout, and they're great. I'm not knocking that at all. Don't get me wrong. They're fantastic. Light line, they jump. Their fly fishing is fantastic. Light line, 4-6 pound test. Small hooks, 8s. Stuff like that, little pieces of bait we've showed on a few of our podcasts. Go back to those. We've showed on that. It's been great fishing. But your coastal steelhead are that true ocean, chrome, bright, mean, big, aggressive, cartwheeling, drag screaming, big steelhead that we all kind of dream about. We don't catch as many. That will happen here pretty soon and get kicking on a little bit more as time goes on. But the Smith River is a jib. It's open for salmon. It'll probably be the last place that you can catch salmon in California that's open, here in the next couple of weeks, all the way into, Thanksgiving. The next couple of weeks on the Smith, there'll be salmon in there, king salmon. A lot of drift boat fishing. The Smith River is a wild, scenic river, the last undammed river that there is in California. And so it's all drift boats. There's a few power boats downriver that you can fish in, but the upper section's all drift boat. Wild and scenic, you're drifting through the redwood forest, pulling plugs or back bouncing. And again, these fish, we've got them there over 50, but lots and lots of fish from 25 to 30, 35 pounds. They're just big monster coastal fish. Your steelhead, the state record comes from the Smith River, 27.4. And we've back when we could weigh the fish and keep them, I flirted with that one by about a pound. Had one just over 26 pounds. Wow. That was hanging on the scale. We were that close, a pound away to the new state record. In the IGAF books, we've got a couple state records for the juniors that came off the Smith River. Kids under 16 years old, they caught monster steelhead for their line class, and they've got a state record there that were on my boat. Kind of fun stuff. The bottom line is I really don't care about that part. The fact is that they're super, super big steelhead and salmon over on the coast. If you can get over there, get a hold of Andy Martin. He's over there. He's guiding. There's 4 or 5 guides that are underneath him that are super good guides, knowledgeable. Some of them have been doing it longer than I have and working hard. And so that's super awesome. And they're good fish. Andy Martin of where is he over? He's on the Chetco River. So he's in Brookings Harbor. So look up Brookings Harbor, type that in, Andy Martin. He'll get you a guide over there. We're solid. We're booked up. He'll get you a guide. He'll get you, anybody who's available and get you into some fish if you want to go over there. Trinity's awesome. Feather's awesome. So that's steelhead right now. That's what's happening and what's hot right now. The bass fishing on Lake Shasta and Oroville for spotted bass, bollards is all very, very good. They're all just the ones, they congregate in one location. Eagle Lake would be top on my list if I'm going to a lake to trout fish. They're getting monster rainbows. Get a hold of Brian Rakucci over there from Big Daddy's Guide Service. These guys aren't asking me to plug them. They're just all my friends that I've known for such a long time. They're good fishermen. They're good dudes. And so we've noticed that when we talk about different areas, people are like, well, how do we get there? We want to go. We want to go fishing there. How do we get connected there? And the way to do that is through our podcast, but we're giving different names out there to help people out. So like I said, they don't, they're just my buddies and they're fishing. So Trinity River, get a hold of Justin Thompson, one of the top guys over there. The Eagle Lake, Big Daddy, you can remember that one, Brian Rakucci, awesome dude, awesome fisherman, all around. Heading over to salmon fishing, Berryessa, stuff like that. Who's over there? Big Nate,
Big Nate, yeah.
Yeah, you bet. Good dude, good fisherman. He wants you to get fish. He'll get on it pretty good. The Feather River, contact me over here if you want some steelhead. The Smith River, the Northern California region, contact Andy Martin. He's out of Brookings Harbor. West Coast fishing. Super great guy, knowledgeable on it, activating with all his guides. He's all a part of that thing. So get a hold of him. I send a lot of guys his way, and he won't do you wrong there. The drift alone is amazing. I'm hoping, Stoney, we can get away and get you up there and drift boat that.
That would be a blast.
Yeah. We'll just see how it works out with timing and everything. Let's go to a few of those questions. A few of those guys got out here. We don't want to let them hold.
Yeah, so the one thing that, and I was going to ask you about this as well, because we're going to head out Sunday, is are the stripers up to north of Verona yet?
All right. In the river system, you always have resident stripers. Yeah. So if you fish hard for them, you could go out and you'll always catch fish. A lot of the fish above Verona are what we call shakers. So they're the smart. We shake them off. That's why they call them shakers. Because they're 12, 14, 16 inches long. The California law is it has to be 18 inches or over for you to obtain it to keep it. Fishing wise, for keepers, you are way better off if you stay down the Delta. Yeah. Rio Vista, San Joaquin, the Sacramento Arm, where they come all together, that whole area there. All the way, I would say, Brandon Island, is just top. You can go to the San Joaquin side. You can go to the Sac side. You can go to Decker Island. You can go to what we call, the Red Barn. You can go troll along there. You can go up, troll underneath the Rio Vista Bridge, right up above that. You can come down, you go all the way down to Antioch. You can troll all the way through there. Vieras, all the way in that whole area. There's all kinds of places you can go down there, troll along the Thule lines. Right now, they're still biting the troll really good. Right. Now, here's a key for the Delta. Bluegill fish really good. Minnows fish really good. There's a few guys that have the jumbo minnows now. They're just starting to come out. So you can find some jumbo minnows. Bluegill fish good, but you have to catch them out of the water that you're fishing. So go into the marinas, different areas. There's snug harbors, there's steamboat sloughs, there's all different marinas, little marinas all over, Wimpeys out there, right? You can catch bluegill around the docks, put them in your live well, and then you can go fish with those. That's legal to do, but you can't transport them. At the end of the day, you got to dump them back into the delta if you have any left. You can't leave the parking lot with live bait fish with bluegill. No can do. If you bite minnows, you buy minnows. The fish bite them. We buy them. If you buy minnows, then you can transport those around. So that's okay. The delta is starting to kick off big time. Guys are getting fish topwater, swim baits, trolling, minnows, all of the above. So the delta's already starting to hit early. Why? I think just because we have just such great weather. We're just having this fantastic fall that we're getting. It's cool out, but it's warming up in the afternoons. Here's the key that I want to talk about. You can get them trolling. You can get them rattle traps. I've got any of your deep diving trolling plugs with a little tail on them. We've got all those. You catch those fish on those 2-3 miles an hour. We can go back on lots of videos and watch that. You've got videos on it. I've got videos on it. You can call and ask questions about it, what areas we're in. Lots of fish to be caught like that. But later on or in the mornings, if that water temperature is below 48. Now, this is just a rule of thumb. I'm not saying you can't catch them, but when it gets 48, 47, 46, they slow down. You'll go from 40 fish days down to 2 or 3 fish days on lures and swim baits. Switch over to minnows. Those fish will still eat. Just slow down. Go to your electric motor. Go to spots where you've caught them before and just ease those minnows around. Keep working those edges. Keep working those points, or those main body points, where you'll have riprap and tulies come together. Those are ambush spots, where the rivers come together. Great spots. Work those areas. You want to be in anywhere between 12 to 15 foot of water when you're fishing straight up and down. Half ounce, 3/4 ounce, all you need. Get that minnow down to the bottom. Just lift him up. 10, 12-pound test leaders, plenty. You hook a big one, where's he going to go? You're just going to follow him around. So there's plenty of line, and you'll whack fish on minnows. It's a great way to do it. Have a good time. I think we did a video last year.
We did.
Out of a Snug Harbor over there, and or was it? Where was it at? Was it Snug?
I think it was
Steamboat.
Snug.
I think it was Snug. Yeah, I bounced around all over the place, but we did one out of there, and we went out. And we were just messing around. We had a big tide. It wasn't optimum, conditions. Had a big, and then all of a sudden we got a little pot of fish, and bang, 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 and we just lit them up, So that's always good. So stick with that, but watch your temperature. When it gets cold, go to bait.
Yeah. So
48, go to bait.
48, go to
Remember
bait.
that.
Yeah.
48, go to bait.
So for Robert's question is, about Verona, north of Verona, Anthony and I are going to a Knight's Landing on Sunday. A couple different reasons is I'd love to go to the Delta. I just don't think my back can handle the trip in the water in the Delta right now. So we're going to do something close, easy. We do really well on Knight's Landing, out of that area. Everything Kevin mentions, all that stuff works. It might be a little too early up during, this time. But what we do is we'll soak bait right now. And the bait that has been working great for us, even for striper, is chicken liver.
Yep.
And we put the Kevin Proc roe brine on this chicken liver and let it sit out for a day or two just to stiffen it up. We use that and two things. One is we catch pike minnows with it, and then we'll take the pike minnow, put that on a hook, and throw it out. And then we'll also catch keeper striper on that same formula. So our goal is to go get the pike minnows, and we've already done this year. I think it was last month we hooked into a nice big striper, probably 27, 20, or maybe 30 inches long. We got a little video of that out there, but there are, like Kevin said, there are striper there. You're not going to nail them with the limits for everybody in the boat type of thing. But if you're patient and you find your holes that you know the fish are in, you can pull a nice big one out right now.
Yeah. Well, you can. You can get limits and stuff like that. Hey, give me a second. Hey, you guys pizza shop.
Yep.
Hey,
So,
all right.
so yeah,
All right. No,
Robert.
but you can get limits if you're patient. But
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the key thing. Just be patient out there and soak bait. And I want you guys to know that I didn't put Stony up to,
Oh no.
plugging my sardine cure. It's just I make it, and that's what I used to use, and I still use when I'm guiding. So there is stuff blended in there that's not just salt or whatever. There's stuff blended in that
Right.
that really does help the fish bite. It really does work.
And there's a guy
so
online, Robert. Him. I'm going to mispronounce his last name, but Robert is putting in there. He brined with Kevin Brock as well for catfish at New Maloney's. So Kevin, again,
Nice.
I'm not just the only one. I have a feeling you're going to be coming out with this catfish bait here soon enough.
It's good. They like it, and anytime you put scent in that other fish like, I'm no catfish dude, but we're finding out that the scents, the aminos, the different bite stimulants that I mix in there with this stuff that has worked over the years for stripers, these freshwater catfish are chasing it down and hitting it on it too. And like you said, if it toughens up your bait, it keeps it on there a little bit longer. You catch more fish. It's a win-win-win-win-win.
Oh, yeah.
And so, we're not we're not making a killing on it. We're not selling $1 million worth of stuff, but it does help. So that's cool. And so that's what we did it for. That's why we did it. We'd have it on the boat, and all the clients were like, "Hey, can we get some of that? Can we get some of that? Can we get some of that? We want to go out fishing. Can we get some of that?" So I started putting it in bottles. Well, the next thing we know, the Sportsman's got it. We're in now 40, 50 different stores, stuff like that. And we're just going to keep growing. So that's just awesome.
Yeah.
So this next spring, watch out. I mean, we're ready. We're right on the launching pad. Here we go. So, and it's just stuff that works, and I got to make sure that I can keep up with the quality for the demand. So what happens with most small companies, they'll produce something that works really good, but they can't keep up with the demand. So then they sub it out. When you sub it out, the quality goes down because they, take shortcuts. You don't use the same product, the products, all the ingredients, the high quality ingredients. So I'm not going to do that. So if we run out. We'll just keep doing the best we can do. But that cure does work. That sardine cure, I put it for sardine cure. I started using it for salmon, later fall salmon. And then I added a few things for stripers to it. And it was just, on those high water years when we were using, sardines and anchovies, it was working awesome for stripers. It was a difference between them just pecking at it, and then not eating it, to like the bite just, they were choking it down their throat. And I'm like, there we go. Now we're talking. Did it give you more bites? I don't know. But did the fish hang on to it when they bit it? Yeah, they hung on way better. Yeah. So that was, I did that just for guiding. For guiding wise. So thanks, Robert, for those questions. There are fish out there, a lot of shakers, but, big baits, chicken livers, fillet a whole sardine on there, fillet it, skin side out. We did some videos on how to tie them. Check those videos out too. How to wrap them on there with stretchy thread. We got that out there. Look at that stuff, and that should help you out a little bit. Stay on the inside. Be patient. If you got a 2-rod stamp, I suggest you use that. You fish 2 baits out there. Gets a little more scent in the water. Gets fish checking you out. You want smelly baits from this time on. Here we go. It's we're jumping right into November, so it's time for some smelly baits. They like that. They like that a lot. So that catfish thing is something that's going pretty good. A lot of people are catching catfish. I want to go over to Oroville because I'm close here and try it one evening and do some of those chicken livers up and see if we can get some catfish and talk about that next week. We'll see if we can't pull that off sometime this week and get out there.
Very good. And I use your row brine too, not just I like the row brine because it gives me did we lose Kevin? I think we lost Kevin. Um, Let me see. We lost Kevin somewhere. You guys are watching. Give me a second. But I do use the row brine. Let's see here. There we go. Stream. You back in there, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
We just paused for a second there for station identification for you. That was a PG&E blackout, is what we call it, and we're back on air, just like that, huh?
Oh yeah.
That was a quick one. Good job, Stoney.
Hey, I'm starting to figure some of this stuff out.
Man, it went completely blank, and then boom, we're back on again. Nice, way to go.
But yeah, I use the row brine.
That doesn't happen without you on that. Yeah,
that's true.
That row brine also has some of those bite stuff in there that I blend myself. So it's not something you can buy anywhere else. I blend that myself and put that in there, and that helps tighten it up just a little bit.
Right. Okay.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Very cool. Well, a lot of you guys know a little bit about my story, and it's not all about fishing. It used to be. It used to be all about fishing and guiding and money and all that. And, you know, we all got to have money to live, and it's nice to be successful. But there's a little biggerness out there. And what I mean by that is we've told some stories about some pretty crazy stuff that's happened in our lives, and it's prompted others to open up and tell stories about what's happened in their lives. And what I wanted to share this evening on that is never give up. Never give up, no matter how long it takes. Never give up. You'll run into people later on that will help lift you up if you're down. I'm going to show you something here real quick. It's been since I entered the hospital system. If you guys know a little bit about what I've been through, I do infusions every month. Keeps me going. So I do about 28 infusions a year. We've been doing that. We did a drug called Cytoxin for about 4 years. It's a chemotherapy. And it kills all your cells, and then hopefully all your white and red blood cells come back, and more good cells than bad cells. And so you do this here, and if any of you have been on it, you know what I'm talking about. You feel the pain. You know. We're not complaining. We're just telling you facts. Well, I got on a new drug a year and a half ago, which really helps a lot. Stable me out. It's called Rituxim. But they have to infuse it at the infusion centers. And so, they got an ultrasound, and they've got to put what they call a PICC line in you, or they've got to put, an IV in you. Well, they've got different sized needles. And as your veins get thrashed with this chemical that they put in your body to keep you alive, there are side effects. It's one of them. It's harder and harder and harder for them to infuse you, through the pumps and everything. It's just harder and harder. So they decided for me to give me a port. And a port is something, it's an inline port. And it's actually an operation. They put you under, you go under the table, and they put a port in. I'm going to show you this right now. Check this out. 2 days ago, we've been waiting for this for years, and we finally got it. Check this out. This is pretty dang cool. So here we go. On this side, I'll turn a little bit. This was 2 days ago that I was in there. It's about an hour and a half procedure. Let's see, I got to turn the right way. There. You can see right here, it's kind of lumpy. It's kind of sore still right here. And there's the port. It's under my skin right there. And the tube, follow my index finger here. The tube goes up over my collarbone. I can feel it right here, down in to one of the main arteries that produces in your body. How cool is that? So now when I go in, they just stick a needle into that junction right there, and it goes inside there, and that's like a artificial vein that I always have. Lasts up to 10 years, they say. It's not one that flushes out. It's not one that gets infected. It's just like this ball there, and the needle goes in, and when they pull the needle out, they use it so small that it just seals itself back up. And then when they do this every month, they move the skin around so they don't hit the same spot. It's infused right here and goes over. Is that amazing or what? That will keep them, the medicine to keep my veins will be able to heal again. So the blood flow will be able to come back again. I will get better over time because of this port. It was no joke. You strip down, you go in, they put the thing, oxygen in your nose, you lay down, there's lights all over the place. The doctor comes in, I'm Dr. So-and-so, well, I mean, you could say Dr. Brock, but I only played one on TV. I was the fill-in, the stunt man for a guy, on General Hospital, paging Dr. Brock. Yes, how can I help you? I'm Dr. Brock. That was my line, But anyway, I was cut right afterwards. They didn't need me. That's my claim to fame, General Hospital, the soap opera or whatever it was, days of our lives. So as the world turns.
My wife is going through her cancer treatment. She had the same thing put in to save her veins, and it was a godsend that was there because it made the treatments that she had to go to several times a week a lot more easier to deal with. So yeah, that's a great thing.
Yeah, and it was it was tough. We were fighting for it, and for all you to know, that's what I mean. Don't give up. Don't give up. I've been fighting for that thing for quite a while. And the doctor has to approve it. Well, first of all, you got your primary care, your PCP, physician. He's got to say, okay, you need it. And then the infusion people say you need it. Then you got to go to your primary care, tell him you need it. Then he's got to put in. This is all done. This can be years. It's a negative thing about the medical system, but this is not a negative show. This is a positive show. This is what can happen. Keep going. And then one day, maybe you can get your port. Maybe one day you can get what you need, but don't give up. You have to be your own advocate, and you guys got to keep on. Don't take no for an answer. Be kind. Don't be like, oh no, F you, something like that. Don't say that. Be like, okay, no problem. How can we make this work? And be patient and keep at it and learn the system and just keep going. So I get now infused next Tuesday in the new port.
Nice.
It'll be faster. It'll be cleaner, less side effects, better vein. My veins are going to come back. They couldn't even find it 3, 4, 5 times. The specialist, they have to do an ultrasound on your arms now and go in here. Well, then I got to do bigger needles to get the bigger thing. Oh, geez. How many times can they stick you? You deal with pain, but when they're poking that needle and they're over and over looking for that vein, and you can feel that needle going out of that vein and out in the bone and the side, and the mother, you're like, yeah, it hurts because they don't numb you, and I can handle that part. I can handle the pain part. The thing that you can't handle is your veins getting clogged up and getting so rubbery they don't work anymore. And then now you have a whole nother problem because of the medicine that they've been giving you to keep you alive. So anyway, bottom line of all that, yep. Just don't give up. And I wanted to show people that just keep going. But that was a long procedure. I was surprised. I thought it would just be some little thing that, that they just twist on the outside. No, they put it under your skin.
Yep.
And they said this thing could be good up to 10 years in there. Isn't that crazy?
It is very crazy.
And check this out. Normally they put it on your right side. All right, for some reason, whatever the veins, the more veins are on this side, because your heart's over here, whatever, man. And I may be wrong with that, but generally they put it on your right side. But my right side is my hook setting side, baby. I'm like, well, I'm a fisherman. They're like, oh, it'll be fine, in a couple of weeks. I'm like, a
No.
couple of weeks? I got to be fine in a couple of days. I got to be fishing for sea. I got to be setting the hook. And they're like, well, if you do anything, if you lift anything over, a milk jug or, I'm like, well, what if I'm doing this or netting a fish, or something like that on my right hand, right? Netting a fish. Am I going to tear it? They're like, well, maybe. I'm like, well, we're not going on maybe. I'm like, put it on the left side. So it's on my left side. How about that, huh?
There you go.
So now I get to set the hook. I get to cast, do everything even this week. While I'm supposed to be healing, I can still go fishing. So there we go. Thank you, doctors, for doing that. They said it's a little different procedure, but no problem. That's UC Davis for you. I mean, top-notch facility. My goodness gracious. They just built a new one for all this in radiology, 48X, the building, all state-of-the-art. I mean, it was like I was in a space station, straight up from like, sci-fi, like 20 years in the future. It was something else. They say, what music do you like? So I like all music, I like Christian music. I like, but I grew up, in the 80s, and stuff like that. Well, with me just saying that, the Alexa or whoever recognized that. And then what came on? 80s music mixed in with Christian music. How about I was like, right. I went out anyways. It doesn't matter. I couldn't remember it all. But the medicine that they gave me, it's a mixture of, starts with V, vanilla, ventilla, and fentanyl a little bit together. They mix it together, and they know what they're doing. Stony, that stuff was nice.
I bet.
Dude, I'm no druggie dude, but that stuff was nice.
Now you know why.
My whole body just relaxed before I went out. I was like, do. I was all happy. I was like, how you guys doing? How long you been in the medical field?
No. And on that note, Kevin dropped, so I have no idea what's going on. Oh man, there you go. Let's see if we can get him back in here.
There you go. But I'm like
side.
making small talk, with the doctor, and I'm like, oh, how long you studied, and I'm like, there's a joke out there, you never want to hear from, your barber or your doctor when they're going into surgery, and that's oops. And the guy was great. It's like 3 seconds later, he's like, whoops. Everybody laughed, It's like, I'm like, are you being serious? He's like, no, I'm just kidding with you. So it was all pretty good. Anyway, those drugs together, they infuse you. Yeah, I want just a little dose of that every night before I go to sleep.
Yeah. Now you know why we have a drug problem.
Yeah.
People love that stuff.
The thing was, they had to put oxygen in my nose because it slows your heart rate down so much that's why people, all of a sudden their heart just stops.
Yep.
Obviously, so no, it's nothing to mess with. But anyway, under those circumstances, I was like, my muscles weren't tense, and they just kind of just melted away. It was like, oh, this is nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So that's kind of the, the inspirational side of this week is just don't give up. And I'm a living case because of it. Of doctors of West Coast medicine that kept me alive through all that. So, yeah. Let me know if you can hear me when I do this.
Nope. We can't hear you. So he wanted to mute us on purpose.
I just muted myself. See, I learned more and more and more and more like that, Made a pause for another station identification right there. So we'll be right back. No, I had to, my nephews and nieces are up here visiting, and I ordered pizza. And I wanted to make sure the pizza showed up for them. So perfect timing. So that's pretty good. So you want to go fishing, huh? Where are you going this week, Stoney?
We're going to Knights Landing. Only because it's close. Again, I want to go to the Delta. It's just I don't think I can do that at the moment with my back issues. So we're gonna keep it close, go out for a little bit, and prove that we can catch striper right now above Verona. And we'll get on it. We've done well this year doing that. We've got a couple big ones with pike minnows and we're going to see if we can get some jumbo minnows, but our chicken liver's been the trick with the Kevin
Yeah,
Brock
you know,
ride.
with these late rains, it might be all muddy down there anyways. That's another thing, guys. When you fish those lower rivers, when we have rains, you know, it's going to muddy them up a little bit. So you know, it may not even be it may not even be a minnow situation, you
No.
know, in the river. You know, it may be all bait. You know, and bait is great.
And that's perfect right now. Other than just wait and bait, just throw it out there
Yeah.
and wait. And great conversation, get one with nature. It's kind of my escape. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what everybody's fishing. Everybody loves to fish. You know, we had a quick dinner before we went on air out of a little town called Durham, California.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to mention the waitress's name on air, just because to protect them. But what a great little restaurant! We went to it was something Rooster Red. It was the Red Rooster. I was corrected. That's what it's called. Little restaurant, little hole in the wall place. Super great service. Had a great time. Food was there, was good. Everybody liked the food. But yeah, waitress was. You know how when you go to a restaurant and we don't eat out a lot, but when you go to a restaurant and you know food's food. Some places it's exceptional, but nowadays it's just food is food. Fried food is fried. You know, if it's fresh. But if you have service, if your glass doesn't go empty, if you drop your napkins and they bring extra napkins, if they come back and actually act like you're a human, it's really nice.
Right.
It's nice to sit down. And the Red Rooster in Durham, they didn't ask me to plug them at all. They help out the little town. But if you're in that area, swing on by. Yeah, it was good. Good food. They got great breakfasts, stuff like that, great dinners. And just like I said, a little hole in the wall, but great service. All around top notch. Durham, California. So if you're headed through fishing or anything like that. Hey, what do we got in stock? We head up to Chico. Their store, it's a tackle box. Minnows in stock. And we got all that frozen bait in there. Remember, 48 is bait. You know, fish bait and weight. So we got anchovies. We got trade anchovies. We got trade sardines. We got chicken livers in there. All kinds of stuff for this type of year fishing. So swing on by there, say hi, check out our specials. We got a lot of online specials for the tackle box right there at Chico. My niece, Callie, stopped by the tackle box, tackle store a couple days ago. She bought an Old Farts fishing hat. She has been rocking that hat in California since she's been here. Totally like as tight as it could go. The whole thing has been awesome. So
That's
it's
awesome.
been super awesome.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I always tell people the younger people when they're like, "Oh, what do you mean old farm?" I'm like, look, you're a trainee. You start now, and you will get there. You will be a full-fledged member, but you start now supporting, and we welcome you with open arms because you're going to be there someday.
It's all good. All right, we're going to pause for a second here for station identification, and we're going to hear a word from our fine sponsors at Old Farts Fishing, and I'll be right back.
Kevin makes it about this time, about halfway through. He's going to take a break. But appreciate you guys for joining. We've been trying a bunch of different things out with this podcast, from Zoom to streaming it live. And, streaming it live is a little difficult at times. It crashes, it freezes up, but we're working through some of those issues. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there. You guys can always go on YouTube and watch the edited version. We do post it up on YouTube on the Old Farts Fishing page on YouTube, as well as the Fishing with Stony Stone podcast that I do on Mondays at 7 o'clock as well. And we are streaming those live. And so that's going to be really cool to get that going. Now we got a lot of guests. And speaking of Monday, David Mayo and Warren Fredrickson will both be in the studio Monday. So put it on your calendars or follow Fishing with Stony Stone. That page is where we're going to go live. But the Fishing with Stony Stone podcast, we will have Warren and David both in the studio So that's exciting. Can't wait for that. We're gonna have to rearrange and make a little bit of room for these guys. But yes, they're gonna be here talking about fishing. I know we've got a tournament coming up in December 6th. We've got the Catfish Bash Championships, and I'm sure on Monday we'll be talking about that as well, as David and Warren's team did make it in, along with a few other teams. So, yeah, we've got some still technical issues we're working on, and that's just one of them. That's why I don't try to talk very much, but Kevin put me in this position by going on break. So, but we will get that fixed at some point. But yeah, I'm sorry.
And we're back. Hey, we sure appreciate that. Thanks for that from the Old Farts Fishing crew over there. We appreciate that. And we appreciate and support them. We're trying to make sure that our operation in here stays going and not shutting down on us. We've had to switch around. Hey, Warren and David are doing that Catfish Bash, huh?
Yeah, they came out this year like gangbusters, and ended up winning one of the tournaments, and they did well enough to get into the finals. My team, Old Farts Fishing Team, is in the finals with a bunch of others, but that'll take place in December 6th out at Clear Lake.
Well, I think that for next year, I've already decided. Watch out, we're going to add 2 things extra to the concoction that I make up for my brine, and we're going to do a catfish cure for bait, and we're going to throw that out there, sprinkle that on there. Yeah, we'll have that coming up. We'll do that for 2026 season. We might even have it at the ISE show, which is going to come up. We'll have fishing rods there, and Sony, you're going to be there at the ISE show in Sacramento, I believe, as long as your back's feeling up for it.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out at my booth over there, promoting and showing out your swag and hanging out and what I call shaking hands, kissing babies, and selling a bunch of fishing rods. We're just helping people out. That's what we're doing. We're not we're not famous. It's not like that. Yeah, we just play it on TV. That's all.
So while you were on break, I did do a plug for my podcast on Monday. I do have David and Warren attending live in the studio on the filming that we're doing on Monday nights next week, and we'll be talking about their experience into the catfish world and everything else that those guys do. So
nice. Well, there's lots of fishing opportunity right now. The days are beautiful. You don't have to be out there at dark 30. Which is a great thing. You don't have to be out there early at all. Midday bite is fantastic. Same way with the stripers. Same way with everything. As the day goes on, the bite gets better. So get out there and go fishing, and keep at it. Keep at it big time. And if you love to fish, just keep going. We got a couple other things. Let's see. We talked about the Delta a little bit, and that was good. The winter months, sometimes people slow down a little bit on their fishing. It might be raining, things like that. This is maintenance time. Right. This is putting new line on the reels. This is cleaning your reels. It's fun to do because you're thinking about fishing. It may be pouring rain and you say you can't get out. Maybe it's just too cold. You're like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Go grab one of your reels off your rods. Clean it up a little bit. Look at the line. Put some new line on there. Check it out. And if you do that one at a time, I don't do it like me because I'd have, just too many. Take me all year to clean all my reels. But one at a time, then by the time you go out fishing, man, they're all ready to go again. And it's something fun to do, Oh, is the World Series on tonight? Are they playing or are they
tomorrow?
Oh, they're playing in. I don't follow a lot of sports. I used to a lot, but but there are still some talent. I love the talent and I love the game. I don't like the politics. I don't like all the other egos and stuff like that go with it or whatever's happening to sports and the commercializing of it. I don't agree with that, but That's just an opinion. But there still are people out there with talent and who are great, and they're fun to watch. And there's a few. This has been a cool World Series so far. I haven't watched a full game of any of it, but I've definitely watched some highlights, which has been darn cool. So some lot of stuff going on. Sorry, Dodger fans, I am rooting for the Blue Jays because, well, I'm a Giants fan, first of all.
There you go.
And so to the Dodgers. And then, second of all, because I haven't won one yet, or it's been a long time, or something like that. It's been a while since the Blue Jays have won anything, and they've got a great team. I got a quick story about that. So it is early in my career, and it's in the mid 90s, late 90s, something like that. And I ended up fishing these guys from the Dodgers. So I ended up with the first baseman. It was named Eric Karros. Todd Hundley was the catcher for the Dodgers for a little while, and he replaced Piazza when he was traded. So I got two catchers. I got Piazza, I got Hundley, I got Eric Karros, and I got a guy named Rick Dempsey in my boat. Rick Dempsey was the ballpen manager for the Dodgers for a few years. He was the World Series MVP for the Orioles in the '84 World Series. So I got some quote unquote, big leaguers in my boat. Well, you've known me long enough. I don't care who you are. We're all equal. We all get treated equal at all. I don't do nothing different. So here we are. I meet with these guys, and they're all nice. And we get out on the boat, and Eric is about, he's 6'6" or something like that. He's 260, something like that. Not an ounce of fat on the dude. And he used to hit so many home runs against the Giants, and I hated the guy, right? But I knew that he had this bad knee, in his right knee, a bad knee. And so we all meet, and I do my normal spiel in the morning, and we're salmon fishing, and it's dark, right? So we're out there. Well, I don't even have the lines out yet. I'm like, okay, guys, this is what's going to happen. And if the plug bites on, if you guys know what happens when the plug bites on, it's as soon as you get the lures out in the water in the morning, we got to fish on. It's going to happen. I said, don't set the hook early. Let it all happen. Blah, 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 blah. And I go, now listen, I am a born and raised Giants fan. Okay? If my family knew that I had any association with any Dodger anything, I would be disowned out of my family. Out. So listen, the fact, and this is what I'm telling these guys. This is the first time I met them. I go, so the fact that I'm letting you on my boat is a big step for me. So if I get any lip out of you guys, I'm taking you in. And so Piazza's sitting right in front of me, right? And Eric Karros is sitting on my starboard side. So they're 3 feet away from me when I'm saying this. And I'm being real direct, but jokingly, too. And Piazza's like, man, I wouldn't talk to Eric like that. He'll get up and whoop your ass. That. So I pull out my bat, my fish bat, from right there where I'm sitting. And I says, bring it on, Karros. I said, I already know you got a bum knee. I'll cripple you up and you won't hit any more home runs against us. They all started laughing and we had a great time. We all caught limits of fish. Here I am. The next day, they fished with me 2 days. They meet me early. They take me out to dinner that night, right? And they say, oh, I want you to show us Chico, downtown Chico. They've heard about downtown party town Chico. So they want me to take me down there. And I'm like, well, guys, I'll drive, but, we can't all fit in my truck. Because back then I just had this little tiny GMC, kind of like a Bronco like OJ had. That's what I had. So I'm like, we're not going to fit all in there. They're like, oh, well, we'll drive. I'm like, listen, I'm going to drive because if you guys go out and drink, I don't drink and drive. Even back then I had, I was like, I'm not opposed to drinking. I am now, but, I can't. But back then I was like, I got too much to lose. So here I am in this little trailer park, right? In Oroville, California. The dudes rent a limo from Sacramento that I don't even know about. They come to my little trailer and pick me up in a limo. Take me downtown Chico. We go down and we party. We go to Crazy Horse. We go to the steakhouse. We go all over there signing autographs. We had a blast. We stayed out till 2. We closed the place down. Well, I'm fit. We didn't know we got to get back to Oroville. So now it's 3 a.m. Well, I'm meeting the rest of the clients. What time? At 4:30. So I'm like, you guys partied with me. You got to stay up. So Eric Karros and Todd Hundley were sitting in my boat at 3:30 a.m. in the morning wrapping plugs. I was having them fillet the sardines, and I was cutting and wrapping them because I said, when everybody shows up, I got to be ready to go. And if you guys go back, I don't have. So they stayed awake all night with me. Karros is like this all day on the boat, catching flies. Hundley's like, let's just go in. Let's just go in. I go, you guys are all a bunch of sissies. Sissies. So anyway, but we had a great time with them. That's my Dodger story. So, I mean, I of course, I like all players. You know, I like people with talent. You know, it's pretty cool. But, you know, over the years, I fished hundreds of ball players, football players, and I've got all kinds of stories. But I just want to throw that one out because the Dodgers were playing. But those guys were a lot of fun. You know, I don't fish with them anymore. Rick Dempsey, the MVP for the Orioles, he fished with me a couple years ago when salmon season was open. But I think they'll fish again once salmon season opens back up on the Sac. Right. You know, we'll get all the boys back out again, and we'll start fishing the new Giants and the old Dodgers, and we'll get everybody together. So that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, those are one of thousands of stories that I got over the years of fishing with different people. So, Stoney, on this, the way I've got the computer and everything, bingo, never mind. I just got that handled. I didn't have a clock. So I had no idea what time it was.
It's
so we're
almost
already past the time. Hey, what a great episode, you know, and I thank you for that. It's fun to share stories. Never give up, guys. Keep praying. Keep moving forward. No matter what you're going through, someone else is going through it too, or has gone through it. There's scripture in the Bible that says there's nothing new under the sun. And what that means is what you're going through, you maybe think you're all alone, but someone else has gone through it too, and they made it. They got through it. You know, yeah, life isn't fair. Life sucks. Life throws you curveballs. Life gives you bad calls. But you know what? It's pretty awesome too. And God loves you all. And we appreciate you guys being and watching this podcast. The reason we're doing this live now is because we're having so many people, so much feedback, so many positive things from this. And we're just going further and further and further. So I can't wait till next week. So jump out, check out the Tackle Box in Chico for fishing stuff. They got all kinds of specials going on. If you're a tackle store and you want to get the Fish Kevin Brock products, go online. We got great wholesale prices, distributor pricing. We mail everything out. If we don't have it, we'll make it, yada, yada, yada. Stoney, you got 1 minute, brother. We love you. We love what you're doing. Don't forget Old Farts Fishing. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. That keeps us going. But that's important. But what we really love, what keeps us going, is when someone goes by and says, hey, I sure appreciate your podcast. Yeah. Hey, you're Stoney Stone. Hey, you're Kevin Brock. We're not celebrities. We're dudes just like you. We bleed red just like everybody else. We have pain. We have hurts. We try. We're just trying to do better. We're just trying to share and keep it going.
That's it. You got it. Nailed it.
That's it.
All right, guys.
Check us out at fishkevinbrock.com. Again, we love everybody. If you need us to pray with you or hang out with us, let us know.
And start on the water Sunday. See you out there. We're going to go knock some stripers.
Awesome. Good luck striper fishing. I think I'll be steelhead fishing tomorrow. We love you all. All right. Thanks for watching us. Good night.
Good night.